I thought that I could just deal with this until, way after my career and then deal with it at that point. But it just came to a head where I honestly can't it's not fun to run. To get surgery on my knee.
Again.
I was thinking about this last night. I've had surgery in 2021 and 2022 and 2023 and now 2024. But we're gonna go get, it's called an osteochondral allograft. So it all started with having Sydney. My running gait was off because of my hips issue, my labral tear, and kept running, and it ended up tearing a hole in the cartilage in my femur, and I had already had one in my patella, under my patella, and so then it has been bone on bone. We didn't know about that hole until the first surgery that I had on my knee in 2021, and they went in and they saw that, so they did what's called microfracturing, drilled bore holes in there, and that's supposed to help get the bone marrow to the surface and make a fibrous cartilage that's not your hyaline cartilage, which is typically in there, but it's supposed to be, help as well. And so that didn't really help. It generally, apparently, it's not done that much anymore because it only helps for about a year, and then you start having pain again. I honestly never felt great with that knee. If you look at videos of me running, I have a gimp in my step.
We do see the hitch in the step here. You can see that the right leg is flattening out completely. She's almost hyperextending that right leg, as opposed to the left leg. See the knee bend that we can see? Yep. And then you can see that right leg is actually, landing straight there. So Jocelyn obviously carrying some sort of, injury, if it's not that she hasn't recovered, completely from the surgery that she went through. But she's one tough nut.
I thought that I could just deal with this until, way after my career and then deal with it at that point. But it just came to a head where I honestly can't it's not fun to run. It's just not. There's no joy in it anymore. And I can't run like I want to or need to in a professional triathlon to make a living or to make it fun. So here we are, made the decision. Apparently this surgery is delayed generally for a lot of people. It's just like a knee replacement. People delay it, and then after they get it, they're like, oh, why didn't I do that sooner? It's amazing. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. But in the surgery, they basically take, in a way, an apple core and core out the bone area that is affected in my femur, and then they take that and take it out, and then they have it's like this kit that you have, and it's someone else's bone and cartilage. It's a donor graft, and they plug it back in where they just took my apple core out, and they put their apple core in, and and then just make sure all the surfaces are smoothed out together, and make sure that it looks like your natural knee. So brand new cartilage in there, and then for the patella, you actually have to flip it over and then basically plug that hole in the cartilage. They're not going to do the osteo part of the bone part of it, just the cartilage part of it. And so that's what they do there, and then put it all back in Humpty Dumpty, all back together again.
okay?
I'm tired. So for the first 10 days post-op, I was fully locked out in a brace, and I had 0 degrees of flexion, and I was toe-touch weight bearing on crutches, on 2 crutches. And I was like that unless I was in the CPM machine, which is the continuous motion machine, and it would just bend my leg for me, and it would go to 30 degrees and then back straight, and then 30 degrees and back straight. And I was in that for about 4 to 6 hours a day for about 4 weeks. After that, I was able to slowly progress from that 30 degrees to 90 degrees after I saw her at my post-op appointment at about 2 weeks. I was able to slowly then progress on the continuous motion machine, but that brace was still locked out to 0 to 30 degrees until my 6-week appointment. And she also said by my 6-week appointment, she wanted me to wean off of crutches. So I went from that toe touch weight bearing and then slowly weaned off of the crutches to be, full weight bearing by 6 weeks. And then we were able to take the brace off at that point too, where I would slowly take it off. I would wear it while I was out and not while I was home, because I felt very unstable when I stopped using crutches, and very unstable when I wasn't using the brace. I didn't have pain with any weight bearing. I didn't have pain with that brace. It was just the stability that was my issue. And then I would just like freak out if anyone was around me because I didn't want my knee to be bumped or touched or anything like that. And then, so after I was released from that brace, I decided to use my bike as my range of motion machine. And so I would just pedal back and forth, but my knee was so tight, it was very painful to work that range of motion back. But once I was able to get that full pedal stroke, it just took me a few days. That range of motion came back much quicker because I was using, active and muscle recruitment to gain more range of motion. And it just felt like I was an athlete again, riding my bike, even though it was quite pathetic watts and no watts at first, and then now it's still quite pathetic watts. And I finally felt confident enough to ride my bike outside, which was a big step. And so I've done 1 bike ride outside at this point. It was super easy, just an hour, which felt like eternity. And my heart rate is now lower than my power, which is a big, great thing to have, a great thing for me. And I'm sure we'll see more progress as we go with that. And then in terms of swimming, I was out of the pool until my incision was finally closed, but then it kept reopening because I had stitches that wanted to come out, the internal stitches. My body didn't react well to them, and they kept wanting to come out. And so it kept reopening and being all nasty and gross, and we'll spare you from that. And so I got in the pool for a day and then had to get back out for a couple weeks, would get back in for a day and then had to get back out. And I finally, probably around 6 weeks at that post-op appointment, a few days after that actually, I finally started swimming more regularly and just have really slowly increased from there. And I finally feel confident enough because I finally started doing a flip turn, which was awesome. That I'm starting to work with Magnolia Masters again with Tim Floyd, Easy Speed down in Texas. And seeing lots of progress now as we have more focused swims. I still swim with a pull buoy because I am not confident enough in that kick, and I still don't want too much pressure on that joint and on those 2 defects that are, right there together. And so not kicking yet, but hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be able to do that. And then I am doing PT twice a week right now, and we're doing just little tiny baby squats, doing stuff with stretch bands, doing machines, doing like a little bit like a leg press as far as I have no pain, and then a leg extension, except that's like so baby at the very like 90 degrees to I don't know, just 10 more degrees from that. So very baby steps and baby motions, just really trying to get that quad activated and fired again, doing some BFR, blood flow restriction as well, because it helps when you can't lift, you know, really heavy weight. It really helps when you can just lift a baby weight to still increase your muscle size, increase the muscle recruitment and everything. So doing that, it has been really hard. I see people running outside and I'm very jealous because that's still at least 2 months down the line. We'll see, you know, sometime in the fall. I'm hopefully going to be released for that. I see Dr. Lawyer again in September, mid-September, and so I think I'll have a little bit more of an idea of where we feel like we are and where we have to go from there. It's been a roller coaster ride. There's been ups, there's been downs, there's been tears, there's been like screams of excitement when I finally got my pedal stroke around on my bike, and just, yeah, all over the place. But thanks for joining, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or want to know more about anything, please let me know about the surgery or about the recovery or about life. And if you've had the surgery before, if you would also let me know, that would be amazing. I would love to hear your experience with this and your experience with recovery, especially from this, and the experience of how it felt after. And we'll just keep documenting here on this comeback channel, apparently, for the last comeback that there will be. Thanks for watching.